I'm Scott Al Miller. It is Thursday night, and that means finally it is time for the Nicaragua Live. Sorry so much for being so late. I've been trying to go live for quite some time, and as is often the case, I'm using a Mac, and the hardware just does not properly support things, and so it can be very difficult. But we are up and running, and let's get some people on. I'm going to go out and let people know about the show, and hopefully see some people on here. That would be great. And of course, let's see, where is all the people? There's the Managua group. Oh, I haven't talked to any of these groups in a while, apparently. There's Matagalpa. Let's get at least a few major ones on here. Get some people in here. All right, we got Beverly Evans is here. Hey, Scott, arriving is Sunday. Holy cow, that's just a few days away. That's awesome. Neil is here. Hello from Managua. Howdy. And, all right. Wow, we're just going to give people a minute to... Oh, Leon El Escobar. Hey, Scott, is the max speed limit still 50 kilometers per hour? Absolutely. There's been no changes to that. We've just kind of gotten used to it at this point, so it is what it is. I don't think anybody's really thinking about it. It's awful. And none of your business is here. Julian Castillo sends some singing fish, I think. Julian is here, big dog. Hey, Julian. Oh, it's Julian. I couldn't even see. You're so far away. The text on my screen is so small. It was you with the singing fish. All right. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Sorry I'm so late. Technical difficulties with the stupid microphone system. Hopefully y'all can hear me. And we're going to get the show going. I don't even know what's going on this week. I was all set and mentally prepared, and then it was just a lot. Oh, Brian says, I forgot I changed my handle. Yeah, I know. I'm like, none of you a bit. Well, oh, yes. Oh, yeah. It's actually been a pretty good week. And of course the dog wants to come in. Hold on, guys. I'm just getting the dog. I'm going to keep talking because I'm just letting the dog in. Who let the dog in? Oh, he's not even here at the door. Dog. Gosh. Ran away. My wife is actually asleep already. It is 6:53, so I'm on the early side for the show, but I'm on the early side for life, but on the late side for the show. I also want to mention to people who might be coming or living here in León, El Sopan is open again. I have no idea, maybe for a long time, but I haven't been there in a super long time, and it is now completely revamped. They have an air-conditioned room. The food is fantastic. It's always been really good food, but it used to be a completely different feeling venue, and pretty fantastic. So if anyone's looking for food, we often recommend places like Twins here in Sutiava. While in the north, pretty close to Enel Vivero, is El Sopan, and it's worth a visit. I had their shrimp tacos yesterday, amazing. I had their camarones al ajillo today, amazing. It was all very good. We were celebrating a close friend's birthday there today, so that was all very nice. So yeah, how is everyone? What's going on? And I'm a million messages that I probably need to send because it's been... Oh, I don't even have things open. I don't even care. Beverly says, FYI, I sent a couple of follow-up emails and I will have trouble bringing my husband's at... Will I have trouble? I'm sorry that I did not see your follow-up emails. I've been so busy. I've not been opening anything that isn't absolutely necessary, but I should be. Multiple people have been like, I'm coming really soon. Where are you? Oh, yes, there are some unread messages. My apologies. I get so many spam that it makes it a little bit difficult that every time I look, it's like, okay, just spam, 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 spam. And then I miss that there's sometimes real messages. Beverly, I see what you need for that last message. Let me track that down for you. I don't believe bringing ashes is going to create any problem, but I've never actually heard of anyone doing that. So unfortunately, I can't answer in any kind of definitive way, but I mean, that's not a controlled substance. That is not... oh, wait. Beverly, I have you on... Wait a minute. I'm actually having problems finding what I need. There we go. All right, cool. I have something where my gotta add people to contacts. Sorry for my glancing in because I'm old and cannot see my screen. Oh, that's not gonna be as easy as I hoped. Why is that hard? Why does nothing work on the phone? I'm having none of my computer stuff works today. Kinda day. Yeah, this is working fine on my phone. Or is it? Ah, there we go. Ah. That's why I'm confused. All right. I'm going to give up. Just going to give up. That's my vibe. Sorry. Geospatial Scotty from Southern California. Brent says, are there Wienermobiles here? Nice artwork. Thank you. My daughter will appreciate that. No, I have not seen one yet. Trying to see how many people I have missed. Yep, a couple emails that I'm behind on. Doing my best to get to those. Other than the person who is calling me names. None of you. It's okay. What is this? All right. Change my name, F1, a couple of emails. My messages are not spam. Where's the info I was asking for? Sorry, Brian. I am looking for what you were looking for. Actually, there's not very many people on. Let's go post on the Expats, get that group going. Sometimes that helps. Today is the 30th of July 2026. I don't even know what year it is. Oh my gosh. It's been an interesting week, but not bad. Not bad. Wesley Doty, I watched one of your videos on food safety. They've turned everyone into germaphobes. Back in the 70s, you could buy an orange Julius within a raw egg. We did mention that recently. Yeah, it's such a different world than when I was a kid. Like, we didn't worry about all that food. I mean, we didn't let food sit out, obviously, but and here we don't think about it in the same way at all. Hey Scott, great to see you. Hey, how's it going? Brian says, still in Ballway. Oh, you're still in Ballway? The locals here are really great, despite the fact that most of the other foreigners here are horrible. Jumplift is here. Yes. Hi, everyone. I missed you all last week. Welcome back, Jumplift. Bocomo, 6985. 3 weeks until my visit. 10 days mainly in Granada. Awesome. You're doing classes, right? You're going to do some language immersion for obviously just a few days. Wednesday says, I saw an old photo from the 1950s. The lady was cleaning a chicken on the kitchen table. There's some things have improved. I'm going to be clear. Definitely some things better than they used to be, but that's yeah. For the most part. And I love that we don't have to put eggs in the fridge. We were back in the States, and of course my kids were like, they put eggs in the fridge in the US? Why did they do that? And it does make, there's a whole like weird story behind why it is like that. And it does kind of make sense. I do not at all agree with the American approach to it. I don't think ultimately it's what makes sense, but there is a reason that they do that, and there is a reason that it doesn't apply here. But yeah. And Brian getting you what you needed. All right. 3 weeks. I saw an old photo. Yes. See, you guys are quiet too. It's not all my fault. I need a lot of interaction to keep the show moving along fluidly. Otherwise, I'm just kind of jumping around at things and trying to get a little bit of work done in the background and stuff. Like, I skipped my dinner tonight, but I did have a late lunch. Coastal Girl is here. Hello. Brent says, reminds me of the classic Julia Child's cooking episode where she handles raw poultry and everything else in the kitchen and on her person without washing her hands. The early show period, there's a million things to do. I hate touching raw chicken. I hate touching chicken for the vegetarians out there. And how old did Julia live? Well into her 90s. That's because she kept all the germs going on. I think the real thing about living old is being rich. That tends to be the biggest factor. And eating butter. Eating butter, very important. Hey, Scott, do you think I can be profitable if I farm in Nicaragua? No, not likely. How would you possibly be profitable? Like, as always, the math is, what are you bringing that a Nicaraguan can't do? So the question is, how will you beat Nicaraguan farming? And if you don't have an immediate strategy that's like, there's no way a Nicaraguan can do this, here's why I'm so much more profitable, then chances are you can't be profitable. That's just general business anywhere. Has nothing to do with Nicaragua or farming. Farming is typically a very difficult business anyway. People tend to do it because they love it or whatever. And I grew up in a farming area, so sometimes people do very well. It does happen. Normally, when people have access to government funds, have access to deep local knowledge and resources, are able to leverage market advantages that they have through locality, all things that will work against you rather than towards you. So basically, the rule of thumb is, if it's a normal business that you don't bring something absolutely unique to the table, where's the profit? Where could it come from? And so there's two ways to analyze any business. One is looking at the business plan and saying, here's the market, here's the this, here's the that. And that's an important thing to do. People tend to be very bad at that, but it's a good thing to do. It's a good exercise. Well, I expect to spend $100,000. I expect to be able to sell this much material at this price. Here's how much money I should make. Will my cost offset that, right? That's an important analysis. And then you have the other analysis, that's the absolute analysis. The other analysis is the relative. How do I outperform other businesses that aren't necessarily profitable, right? And the thing that you're up against is farming in Nicaragua typically doesn't really make money. And if it did, if there were opportunities, there are Nicaraguans with access to all of the resources to open farms and all of the knowledge and stuff and access to government assistance and so forth, and the absolute cheapest local labor and the absolute cheapest overhead of different pieces. If they haven't opened more farms, there's a reason. And so how are you going to outperform those that are feeling it's not worth making money? And most Nicaraguans are going to be happy making an amount of money that you are not. So if you are looking at opening a farm and all I need to make is $50, well, okay, you could probably do that, because a Nicaraguan would be happy to do it and make $400. But if you come in and say, I've got to make $500, and the Nicaraguan would be happy at $400, then they would have already done it, and they're likely to earn double or triple or 10 times what you will. So you have to be happy earning a fraction of what a Nicaraguan would make in a situation where the Nicaraguan has opted not to do it because their market analysis says it's not profitable enough for them. And so that's the thing that's telling. Is it possible that there's simply no Nicaraguan who wants to do farming? Sure. But in a market where there aren't enough jobs to go around, if there was profits to be made in that, it would be an oversaturated market. Everybody would race into it. Nicaragua as a country wants to increase exports. Food is a big export thing here, right? So it is safe to say that no, you cannot. Neil, hey, my friend, I sent you an email a few days ago. I did just respond to you before you said that, just so you know. So check your email. You have it. I sent an email a few days ago. We're trying to connect with you for coffee or lunch on August the 9th. It should be good. Would love to chat in person about living in Leon. Absolutely. Farming cattle, chicken, and meant for local market. Even harder if meant for the local market. Like 1,000 times harder. If you had specialty connections to export, that would be one of the situations where maybe you could make it work. But Like, how could you possibly have the local knowledge of cattle? How are you possibly going to navigate the free roam thing that's required for cattle? Chickens are done in every yard. How are you going to compete with that? How are you going to make, especially those things, the bread and butter for this market, right? The things that Nicaraguans do everywhere, every day. How could you possibly beat a market that's saturated? Bocomo, that's correct, Scott. 5 days of Spanish lessons. We'll also meet up with my guy from Niki Noomo, who is a friend of a friend. One objective is to see if I like to snowbird in the CA4. Very cool. That should be awesome. Leslie says, does the hydroponic strawberry place make money? Supposedly they do. However, it's worth pointing out they don't make money selling strawberries. They make money on a restaurant and tours. They don't sell strawberries anymore. So they found that selling strawberries wasn't worth it, even though they're well known. And so they declined to expand their farm to be large enough to sell strawberries around the country. They only farm enough, which is a bit, to be able to feed their own restaurant and to give tours. So it's a tourist activity, not a farming activity. I would think the better way would be organic with compost in grow tubes. If you can get compost that's appropriate for it. Brent says, I had pupusas for dinner that aren't digesting super well. Oh, I'm sorry, but it could be the massive wave of humidity that hit after some rain followed by sun boiling it all off. Still not used to that action. Lenise says, good evening. You mentioned that you took a private flight when moving to Nicaragua. What company did you use? Did your pets travel with you on this flight? I don't know what company I used. It's been quite some time. They probably don't even exist anymore. Yes, the purpose of it was the pets. We would never have done it without the pets. I would have driven or swam or anything. The flight was very expensive, only worth it for my animals. As with everything in my life, my budget is determined completely by my animals. But that they flew in the cabin with us. It was so convenient, so simple, so safe. That was, as much as that was crazy expensive, that was one of the best decisions we ever did. But we did fly out of Miami, which is the only way to do it reasonably. Is growing mushrooms a thing in Nicaragua? We are a unbelievable mushroom country, so yes. Do we export a lot? No. Why not? People just aren't interested? But yes, mushrooms, we're like Guatemala. We're a major mushroom country, all kinds of stuff. Someone offered me the opportunity. I happen to like mushrooms. Mushrooms are definitely cool. Growing mushrooms for profit. The hardest thing would be finding a market. And you know, how do you ship mushrooms fast enough? Like, I'm sure you can. How do you do it? I don't know. Right? That's where a lot of these things come in. The challenges are, it sounds great, let's grow mushrooms, people want mushrooms, or whatever. None of that's the challenge. Finding a mushroom investment, anywhere. Finding mushrooms, anywhere. Growing mushrooms, pretty easy. We're a mushroom country. How do you get them to market? How do you get the outlets that will sell them? How do you keep them fresh and maintain food quality standards and all those things? That's where all the challenge lies. And so any of these things are dangerous because all of the challenge doesn't lie in the things we talk about, right? When someone says, I have a great business opportunity in Nicaragua, it should be followed up by, I've got this great staff of people that are trained and my manager's fantastic and we have access to local markets and all this stuff and like all the underpinnings of a business, because those are the things that you're challenged by. If you come with all of that and say, and I have access to all this funding at really low interest rates that no one else can get, I need a spot to put it. Now, coming up with these types of investment things could make sense. But if you're taking money that is widely available otherwise and trying to compete with that same investment in another market and trying to do so in this market against what an investment from a Nicaraguan would do, it's just, it's a logically nearly impossible task. You can get lucky, but it's really about getting lucky, and business is not something you want to get lucky and you want to be good at. Brent says, I also had to walk home through a quarter-mile of gnats. No shortage of them here in Ometepe or any bug. We do get the gnats here. I hate it. And I get them in my office at night while doing this show because of the lights. Njord 4. Hey, Scott, good evening. How's it going, Njord? Alan is here. Rain, what's that? Leon has hardly had any. It is true. It is way too dry, way too much time without rain. checking with my team. As you guys know, I do work on this night. You're Neil. Thank you, Scott. I really appreciate you. Well, thank you. And hopefully I see you in 2 weeks, or less than 2 weeks, a week and a half. That'd be cool. This does have rum in it, by the way. Getting me through the night. Nicaragua exports some type of truffle someone was telling me about. They are preserved somehow. I think dried. Dried would work. Luke is here. Hey, y'all. Silver is here, but disappeared. My gosh, I'm getting so many notifications. It's insane. My phone is just exploding. 28 notifications in the last few seconds. Does Nicaraguan mondongo have mushrooms? If it did, it would be mondongo de hongo. Well, I'll show myself out. Mondongo. So it says, hey, Scott and everyone. Okay, these are internal messages. Right. Hey, all. We're carrying signs now. See you on the 10th in Leon. Neil's going to be here on the 9th. We're carrying signs on the 10th. Unless we flip the itinerary and it'll be the 6th. I'll email you this weekend, Scott. Perfect. As far as I know, I'm around this coming week. I don't have any plans not to be as far as I'm aware, so that's very cool. Janet's here. Hey there, I just made it back to the computer. I was listening on my phone in the kitchen. Well, thank you. Still working. Oh, we're carrying signs. To make this happen, be back soon. Let it play on for now. Luke says, hey, Scott, did you ever get the info on the farmacia that was coordinating with another farmacia in Costa Rica that was handling veteran medications? I have the information for the one in Costa Rica. I do not have the one for the one here. Please leave any Highland City recommendations for me. Thank you. I mean, those are always the same. Matagalpa, Esteli, Jinotega. Those. That's it. Always. Brent says, I'm sure this has been covered, but does every departmental capital city process 30-day visa extensions? To the best of my knowledge, yes. How do you know when your passport is ready to pick up? They tell you when you give it to them, but it's 1 week. So very straightforward and fast. Let's see. Yep. No new questions. What did I just close? Oh my gosh, the messages. It's on my side it's going beep, beep, beep. Everyone is a new ticket opening. It's maddening. And I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with them. They're like informational, but there's so many things are going to get lost. Oh, there it just keeps going. 2 more while I was saying that. Alan says, on the form is the VARX company. It says CR, but has a page for Nicaragua. Oh, that's cool. Perfect. So check that out. Oh my gosh, we have a lot of people on right now. You guys aren't very chatty, and I kind of had a feeling it was slow, but we were, when I just said that, at 40, which is a really good, solid number of people, and we just hit 45. So, I mean, that's hardly a record, but that is a really good amount of viewers connected at, especially early on and for a show when I got started late. So, hey, welcome everybody. Get in those comments and let me know what you want to talk about, because I am up for discussion. We want to get this going. That is exciting that we have so many people on. Just blew me away. The last time I looked, it was literally at 16, which admittedly was a little bit ago, but we're getting the ball rolling. So obviously a lot has been going on in Nicaragua over the last, say, 2 weeks, and it's been kind of an exciting time to be here for sure, and also, of course, for a lot of people on the outside, seemingly stressful, right? Because, of course, foreign news does a lot to press misinformation and to rile people up, and, you know, it's news. They got to get eyeballs on things, right? They got to get views, so they're going to make a big deal to try to get people upset, because that's what gets people into the news or whatever. And so there's a ton of that going on, good or bad. Upside is we're getting a lot of attention on Nicaragua. And also upside that a lot of people overlook is many people who were kind of looking at Nicaragua, every one of these cycles, some of them drop out. Oh, I would never consider Nicaragua because someone lied about it. What a bizarre thing. But let me tell you, there are hard to imagine a world where someone who's influenced about person X because person Y lied about them. Now, if you're confused, right? Oh, they lied and I believe them. I didn't know they were lying, so I made a bad decision. Okay, but when you know person Y is lying, or at least has no information and is not a trustworthy source, and you go to them anyway and just go, can you give me information, true or not? Just do. And then you get angry at person X because of something that you didn't check and is very likely a lie, logically must be a lie. Let me tell you who we don't want here. Those people, right? So these things actually filter out the absolute dregs, the dregs of society, because let's face it, really, really dumb people and really dishonest people normally are the same people, and really, really cruel people, also often the same people, aren't super helpful. They aren't helpful to have as neighbors. They aren't helpful to the economy. They aren't pleasant to be around, and they're not making our neighborhoods any better. So that those people are self-selecting not to be here, awesome, right? That's fantastic. So from our perspective, right, living here, a lot of this drama going on in North America, and to be clear, it's purely external drama. It's not even happening here. Is kind of good. It gets a little bit of attention on Nicaragua, so people who are like, you know what, I forgot about this place, I heard about it in school. What's going on in Nicaragua? If they care and do a little bit of research, they're going to learn a whole bunch. And if they're one of those people who just is looking for misinformation and is just bad people, it's not going to drive all of them away by any stretch, but many it does. Awesome, right? So we actually kind of look forward to some of these things. John Blair, hey, Scott, good evening. Is there a permanent community in Las Piñitas or almost completely Leon City dwellers coming over? Well, so I'm sort of part of the permanent community. Mike is part of the permanent community. I don't live there right now, but that's where I'm building a house. Jillian is permanent there. There's a, Las Piñitas is a very small community. Let's start with that. Of the people who are there are a number of permanent people. Or nearly so. No one's there full time, but there's a real tight-knit group of permanent people, and my housekeeper being one of them, who's also my neighbor. So they're there. Now, if you're looking for a permanent expat community, it's much smaller. The permanent non-expat community on the beach is a little bit larger. In that particular beach, all the beaches, more or less, north of, let's say, Popoyo, are pretty much Nica-based beaches, that the expat community forms the backbone of them, basically unheard of. And even some of the ones south of Popoyo, still only some of them have quite a few, have expats forming the backbone of their communities. San Juan del Sur, Popoyo being key examples. Las Piñitas being the busiest of the beaches that is not an expat beach. But every beach you're going to find some number of expats on, just naturally, right? If you're a person who doesn't want to be around other expats but want to be on a beach, you spread out, and there's only so many beaches, and so they all have got a little bit. And we do have Salinas Grandes nearby, which is essentially entirely expats, but it's almost entirely empty, so it is what it is. Paul is here and has come to say something. What's up?
Oh, I didn't know your live stream.
It's Thursday.
Oh, it's Thursday.
Everyone forgets it's Thursday. It's like the only anchor that gives us a time of the week.
Really?
Is my live stream.
So what are we talking about today?
At the moment, permanent population in Las Piñitas. Is there a permanent population or just transients from the city?
Oh, no,
it's a lot of transients from the city, obviously.
There's like 9 or 10 families that have all kinds of cousins, and they all live there, and they're all related.
It's about 3,500 people.
Yep. All right.
It's pretty big from that perspective.
Yeah.
And then Ponaloya with another 4,000, I think. Fewer expats.
Oh no, Las Piñitas is much smaller. I was talking 3,500 between all.
Oh, between them. Oh, I've always heard 7,000 between them.
That's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people. It doesn't feel realistic. But when you go back in those communities, there is a number. Yeah, when you get off the main road on both. And the density there is, now it seems like a lot.
Ponaloya has 3 different barrios.
Yeah. Well, so does Las Piñitas.
Yeah.
It's got the one by the swamp, and it's got the main one, and then it's got the one right off the road.
Yeah.
those three areas. Yeah, who knows? So what's going on tonight?
Nothing.
Nothing. Tonight's the night off.
Well, kind of.
Yeah.
I'm having you do me a favor.
I'm trying to get it. It's downloading. You do mean the movie?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a horrible movie.
Oh, it's got to be.
That's why the music makes it good.
Well, yeah. I actually already have it.
Really?
Yep, that one. It's not a huge movie.
Oh, really?
Yep.
And everybody's got it, so.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Took seconds to find it.
On the village then.
I'll have it over there in just a few minutes.
Is there a reason that this battery was not plugged in?
Let me see it. Oh, often, yes. That means it's already charged, and I pulled it off the charger.
Okay.
But thank you.
I
I am seeking the movie right now. It'll probably be there in 10 minutes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. For those who are wondering what Paul's doing, he is going to be watching Purple Rain for some reason this evening. Purple rain, purple rain. Yeah, all right. Let's get back to the people. Larry says, when is Panda Express opening? I don't know, but man, I want Panda Express. That sounds fantastic. Another trip back to Florida on the 11th. This is Luke. Currently, my town is the newest infested with Burmese pythons. Leprosy from armadillos is on the rise and increase in flesh-eating bacteria. Can't wait. Wow. Florida. Come for the flesh-eating bacteria, stay for the leprosy. Brent says, don't make me keep going on with the dad jokes, people. Wesley says, Scott, just like you. If I ever eat fast food, which is not very often, I never go through the drive-thru. I also never self-check at stores. I do self-check out at stores, but I've been gone for so long that I forget that it exists. If they gave a discount for me working, I might consider it. Yeah, drive-thrus. I like to walk inside. You get fresher food and accurate food, and you can actually see the menu. And it's just annoying to drive through the drive-thru. Instead of them checking people out, they're watching people check themselves out. Healthier life. Actually, the propaganda against Nicaragua protects Nicaragua. That's what I was saying. Maybe you said that before I said it? I don't know. But that is what I was saying. That the propaganda, because people who believe propaganda don't make... Some of them are just foolish, right? But and some people... There's just statistics, right? But on average, and by the way, our numbers are still fantastic. On average, people who fall for propaganda just don't make good expats. They don't make good citizens. They're not good for society. And so one of the deals of propaganda from a big country anywhere is that it tends to create a group of people who don't move abroad due to the propaganda and just stay being awful where they were. Okay, but as long as they don't come here, awesome. Like it's funny because it sounds so bad. And if Nicaragua was taking 1 billion expats, I mean that statistically, numerically. If they literally were taking, let's say even 500 million, 500 million people, and some propaganda came out and people panicked and that dropped it to 250 million, you could make this argument, wow, we lost this insane amount of population because of this propaganda. Ooh. But because expats make up this itty-bitty trivial amount of the population here, influencing it plus or minus a little bit isn't really a big deal. But it only takes a couple of troublemakers to be a real problem for everyone. And so anything that eliminates the problem people, it also, and this is just, again, statistically, but those people who are not so smart, fall for propaganda, just generally cruel, don't care about the truth, whatever, are very rarely financially advantageous. They're often trying to take advantage of other people, trying to find ways to not help out, often coming intentionally to cause damage. Not necessarily, but that happens too. All of those people, if we can eliminate them, great. And if we can eliminate them by them never applying, so we being a country, or we being expats, never have to think about filtering them out on our side, or we just never see them, great. And I said this in a video that got a lot of traction. A lot of people really felt this resonated with them quite some time ago. Well, 6 to 9 months ago, I said one of the great things I love about Nicaragua is who doesn't come. If I'm in a Costa Rica, most, certainly not all, but so many of the expats are just trash, right? It's where trashy people gravitate, right? Just like if you go to the coastal towns in Spain, they're the worst. Marbella in Spain. There's not a single person there you would ever want to speak to in your life, right? 100% British, but not good British. 100% self-selected garbage Eurotrash, right? It's a town specifically for that. It's great for a lot of people because you don't have to deal with them other places. And Costa Rica, not to the same extent, but filters a ton of North American trash, not because of something Costa Rica is doing, because so many things promote Costa Rica, and people who aren't doing any research go wherever things are promoted, and so they end up in Costa Rica. And to a smaller degree, a lot of those people end up in Panama because they hear, well, Costa Rica, we've heard, we'll also try out Panama. It's the backup choice, right? Or Cancun, anywhere in the Yucatan, right there, or well, at least on the Costa Maya. Those areas are taking all the worst travelers statistically, and places like Nicaragua are taking the least. So our expat performance ratio, right? How much they benefit the country, how nice they are to be around, how much you actually want to be friends with them, is so high compared to other places. Now, of course, all of you are those people, right? Unless you're here to troll, you are all people who filtered through to being either part of the group that is expatting here or part of the group that's seriously considering it, or you're just traveling here. Some of you are that. But so my audience falls very heavily into that we filtered through research way, as opposed to the people who ended up in Costa Rica who filtered through the I'm doing no research, I'm just going to go with the flow way. Graduate gemologist, Nicaragua, super safe. I went to the AM/PM market and there was a security guard, or maybe he was police, standing at the entrance dressed all in black with a shotgun. Not a joke. So they're actually required to do that by contract, and it's because there's an ATM. Almost all AM/PMs have an ATM. Those that don't have the security guard unless you are in a really rough neighborhood. The banks centrally simply have a contract that says if you want to have an ATM, a caja automática, you have to have armed security 24/7. You can do it in a hotel, you can do it at an AM/PM, you can do it at a grocery store. It doesn't matter. If you're going to have that box there with all that money in it, you have to have an armed guard, because armed guards are very cheap, and replacing ATMs is very expensive. Without an armed guard, someone would just walk up with a sledgehammer, go through the door, tie a rope around the machine, and drive away in their Hilux. Right. So those armed guards are not there because it's dangerous. They're there because ATMs are easy to put chains around. So it's standard, right? And it has nothing to do with the AM/PM or where it's located or anything of the sort. That they then get 24/7 armed security is just great, and I like that about AM/PMs and Super Express. If I pull up to the one, say Nagarote or La Paz Centro, at 3 a.m., yeah, those places are super safe. But I also like knowing that the 24-hour mini-mart I'm going into has security going on all the time. It's just comforting. And it means there's always someone there. And they're outside watching the neighborhood, so it gives a whole little area with like some kind of protection. It ends up acting a lot like police, like nothing bad ever happens in front of a mini-mart. Brent says, hey, you managed to get Paul in the stream. Every so often it happens. Jump lift. Hi, Scott. Should I bring a wagon stroller for my kids, or will I stick out like a tourist way too much? You'll definitely stick out like a tourist. I've never seen one here. Is it a big deal? I don't think so. Are you going to stick out as a tourist anyway? Most likely. So go ahead and bring it. Where are you going to pull it? The roads are terrible. I always wanted to move to Managua. Why do you say the weather all year? Why do you say about the what do you say about the weather all year round? Managua is quite nice. So coming from León, I find Managua to be exceptionally pleasant. It's not as nice as Matagalpa, but it's very nice. There's breezes. There's the lake right there. It's several degrees cooler than here. It's just enough that, at least because I'm used to Leon, I actually really like Managua from a weather perspective. My kids, we all mention it. When we go to Managua for a weekend, it is rare for us to feel warm. We instantly feel like it's just comfortable because we've dropped several degrees from what we're used to all the time. And obviously, we make do in Leon all the time. When we go out to restaurants, we eat outside. Okay, the last 2 days I was in air conditioning, but that's the exception. I'm almost always eating outside. I'm almost always doing activities outside. I go out and have my morning coffee outside. I'm outside all the time. And we don't anymore sit around going, oh, it's so warm, I'm sweaty. We really don't. And so when we go to Managua, suddenly it's like, ooh, I forgot. This is so comfy. None of your business. What's up, Paul? Oh, he already left. Jump says, have you ever had an eye exam there? I did not. My whole family has, and I'm about to. And anyone on the show, we can hook you up with an optometrist because we have an optometrist company on the show. I don't know if he's here right now, but I'll poke him when I see him. If he, I'll try not to poke him because that would be poking an optometrist is like, poking an I'm getting close to my trip and may not be able to do that in the States in time. These glasses are from 2019, I think. It's definitely time for me to get new ones. Oh, that reminds me. The person that picked these glasses out just talked to me the other day, and I need to remind her that I'm still wearing these glasses because it's hilarious. My biggest issue with Nicaragua is that I have a list of things and places I want to see. But when I see one, I end up adding 4 new places and can't find the time to get through my list. That is a problem, yes. That is from Jiffin Ixis Doxicod Pam Rinfree. Jump Lift says, remember to hit the like button, everyone. Thank you. Yes, hit like. We got 52 people watching right now. No wonder everything is scrolling by so fast. That is really good. What do we get? Remember to hit the like. I just went for an eye exam and my glasses will be here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Great experience, honestly. Super easy. And the doctor was pleasant, I think. Jeff Nixon and Doxin Codpapman and Rinfi says, not always true. Maxi Pali I got to does not have shotgun security in Chinandega, but Banco Lafice, yes. Are you sure that the Maxi Pali doesn't have it, but it's just not visible? No, I haven't been to the one in Chinandega that I remember, but often Walmart does try to hide them. Maybe there's some that don't have it, but I know their contracts say that they have to. Jumplet says, by the way, I keep going back to your election videos and reading comments. Love reading your channel comments. Awesome how to take through time to thoroughly respond. Yeah, some of those comments every so often are not so great. Those videos especially got quite a few nasty comments, it's amazing how many people were angry that elections weren't being canceled. Right? People really were angry that he didn't say we were canceling elections. And it's like, really? That's something you're angry about? Like, why are you so angry about someone else not canceling elections? Like, that is such a bizarre take on things. Expected, I suppose, but... Okay. Just a little bit behind here, which is fantastic because there's so much going on. I'm here for your prolific and excellent... This is Thrifty Gretchen. Hey, Thrifty. I don't know why I called you that instead of Gretchen. Excellent content, even though I'll be retiring in El Salvador. There's no equivalent content for El Salvador while there's differences in the two countries. That's crazy. There's no content like this for El Salvador. I'm surprised there isn't at least 3 people doing this. I would expect that in many cases. I'm really hopeful due to some changes of events recently that I'm going to be doing a bunch of this same content from Panama, which I did used to live in, so have a lot of experience. I have a lot more experience than the average person, than a random person in Panama, having lived there and having had an office there, and having friends there continuously for a very long time. I'm hoping to do a lot of content there too. And I think a lot of people who are interested in this region in Nicaragua, Panama comes up a lot as a very good option. And I absolutely love the country. It is such a cool place. I mean, if I wasn't living here or Guatemala, it's probably my next choice. But I'd like to add that. I would love to do this content in El Salvador. I wish it was easier to get there. I'd love to do it all throughout the region and hope to, as my life starts to allow me a little bit more time and flexibility. I don't actually need a ton. I need enough flexibility to be able to like get to places, and then I can work from there. And if the show made a little bit more and could pay for my travel, that would make it completely doable. I'm still at that point where I'm paying out of pocket for anything like that. It's fun. I love to do it, but it's hard to run up and pay for 2 weeks in a hotel to spend my time working just to be able to put out the show to make no money. That's a little bit tough. But thank you so much. Don Timoteo, the AMPM across from the police station in Grenada does not have an armed guard, but it does have an ATM. All right. Thrifty Gretchen, I listen for universal themes about expat life in Central America. I do my best to be generic. Watching from the Forest Hills of Queens, New York. Jumplift says, I was going to relocate to El Salvador, but so grateful to have found Scott's channel and Nicaragua. Thanks for sharing your experience. I believe Gretchen actually has ties to El Salvador, and that's what's driving her in that direction. Not that El Salvador isn't fantastic, and lots of good reasons to live up there as well. Some of my closest friends just put in a couple days, not a big thing, but a little mini vacation in El Salvador and had a nice time up there. And I really want to go up and spend, because I've done El Salvador a couple times, but very quick and not like getting to really do fun stuff. And I'd love to go up even just one time and do a bunch of filming. And so for that would be really cool. So we will see. It's always been in my expectations and desires to do that. I also want to get a drone and keep it up there across the border, because that whole region, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, I can take a drone and film stuff. But because I'm going to be in Panama a bunch, it looks like might need to have one there. But I also work in Guatemala and Belize, so having one there, like, maybe I need to. What do we got? Forest Hill, El Salvador. Thanks for sharing your experience. Oh, who's your optometrist? We have one, of course, and I love the blue ones I have now. I don't want to change. They're in Managua, in El Doral. Jumpless says, hey, Janet, who's your optometrist? Jeff and Nixon, Papin Renfee says, yeah, there is one security guard at the door, but unarmed. Okay. Janet says, hey, Jumplift, so the funny part is he's a friend of my husband's, Ramon. That's not funny. Everyone's a friend of Ramon's. His dad was an ophthalmologist, and the son is, I think, only an optometrist, but it all came out well. Jumplift says, oh, no, wait. I jumped a bunch of stuff. Jumplift, Luke, I'm in Florida, too. Janet, if I remember correctly, their office is below Parque San Juan, across the street from where the fire was the other day, but I'm not sure exactly the same block. Oh, I think I know the place you're thinking of. I'm not up there that much. Was I there today? No, I was not. Jessica Bravo. I'm in Florida too. Port Charlotte currently. Hi, everyone. Janet says, hi. Jumplift. Hi, Jessica. Are you relocating to Nicaragua? Alan Winston. Hola from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Making some retirement plans in the next year and a half. Looking forward to visiting Nicaragua and in the near future. Love your shows. The information is invaluable. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And everybody remember, give a thumbs up while you're here. This is great. Thrifty says, there is content from El Salvador, but I mean, there's no one as prolific. Oh, well, I mean, that's safe to assume. You'd have to be pretty lame to be as prolific as me. Like, that takes a lot of time that you could be using to do something really fun. It's a bit of a problem, how much I make. It's a combination of extreme OCD and autistic. I don't recommend it. I do like that I get to connect with you guys so much. That's super cool. I love making the show. It's also oddly stressful, and there's no reason for me to do it because it pays nothing. So I don't know why I do it exactly. I always kind of wanted to make sure there was content for things that people needed, and I'm, like I said, OCD, so I just make the show every day. Why would anyone do that? I don't know. Graduate gemologist, on a recent episode you mentioned there are no newspapers in Nicaragua, but no need for newspapers now. Lots of info on the internet, YouTube, etc. Was that the whole thing? Yes, I believe that is true. The idea of a print newspaper is really silly. I thought it was really silly that we still had one. I also feel it was really silly that they shut it down at a physical level, right? Like, that doesn't really feel like it makes sense, because, like, hold on. Sorry, got distracted. So, like, why make the fight? Why make the whole, like, drama of eliminating the paper, which is the only thing going on, so that there's, and you can make any excuse you want. Well, we wanted to be better for the environment. Sure. We wanted to, it was a specific place doing something with paper, and then the paper just seemed like a sure. I can see all kinds of arguments being made, good or bad, whatever. I have not heard any good ones made, but it simply doesn't matter. It was irrelevant, right? Like, it was not important to the best of my knowledge in any sense at the time that it did it. It was just it felt like such a silly thing. I was not involved. I wasn't actually here at the time that it happened. It was just before I got here full time. So I wasn't, like, right around for it. But even a long time ago when, a lot of noise. Fill me in on what the a lot of noise is. Sometimes that is something I can correct. Is there? Oh, no. No one mentioned this. Is that... Nope, that was foolish. What did I just do? Is this better? Do you get less noise from this? I don't see any... okay, hold on. I'm going to turn off this. Is there still no... Oh, no. Okay, there's still audio. Okay, so here's the issue. It's my audio mixer. It turned on audio it's not supposed to have, and it's not showing me where I can turn it off. OBS is such a problem. So the problem is there's a microphone up there, and it's pulling... it's pulling the audio from that instead of from this. Well, I mean, it's showing both. It's not showing me the sources so that I can do anything. Well, this is annoying. Let me see if I can... This is why I turned it off on the camera at one point. I had to turn it back on because of... All right, hold on. I'm going to track this down. Oh my gosh, my dog. Oh, Thrifty, thank you so much. Thrifty just joined our membership. That means so much to me. Thank you. Jose says, hello, Scott. In regards to your bank information you gave the other day about keeping a bank account in the States and using someone's address, are you not able to use a P.O. box? So remember, banks can do anything they want. There's no regulations at all. So no. If they don't want you to, they're forcing, in the cases where this comes up, they're forcing you to have a residential address. P.O. boxes are not a residential address according to banks. According to the law, they can be. According to banks, they are not, because banks are looking for an excuse to cancel you. That's the problem. So you really don't want to give them an excuse, and P.O. boxes, some banks who don't care about an address will accept the P.O. box. But if they're going to accept the P.O. box, they'll accept the Nicaraguan address. Right? Like, it's just... So, what is going on with those dogs?
I think Ruler's out there.
Do you mind taking food out for them? I'm sorry. It doesn't have to go all the way out. You could put it just a little bit out back, and then they'll be happy. All right. So, play the videos. So the P.O. box either is unnecessary or doesn't help. There could be a fringe case where it does help, but is necessary, but I've never heard of it, and it wouldn't make very much sense. So assume that will not work. Otherwise, you wouldn't need it at all. Jump Lift, by the way, I keep going back to election video and reading the comments, live reading through the channel comments in general. Very awesome how you respond so thoroughly. Oh, thank you so much. Zizi says, hola, when you are thinking of leaving for Panama, the white noise is soothing. When am I thinking of, I'm not moving to Panama, I'm just going to be spending a bit of time there. I don't know, actually in the next few weeks potentially, trying to figure that out. For a number of things. This dog is now pissed off because there's a cat out there that he's trying to harass. I hear an angry cat. Sounds like a fan, not bad. It is a fan. I wish I could move the camera. It's the spotlight is here. Hey, baby. The studio light is right here, and it's really hot. So it has a big fan built into it, and it's right above the microphone for the camera. And so, come here. Okay. I know you're scared of a cat, but please sit. Please sit. You don't need to be scared of a cat. Yeah, okay. Do you see the size of this dog? He does not need to be afraid of a cat. Are the cats out there and you're protecting them? Oh, out here? Aw. Now I have all the dogs because all the kitties are close. Zizi says, no American banks do not accept P.O. boxes as primary physical addresses. Just to be clear, a few, very few do, but they accept anything. So it isn't that you could never find an example of it. It's just you can't find a useful example of it. In Digital is here. Nikas will be fine. The leaders look like they are fishing for a deal and payday. It's pure geopolitics. Zizi says, okay, then, yeah, I was really hoping to hook up with you in November and pick your brain in person. Oh, yeah, that'll be no problem. I'm not going to be gone for long periods of time. It looks like I may be being in Panama for like 1 to 2 weeks at a time on a pretty regular basis, like every other month kind of thing. So we'll know more about that pretty soon, hopefully. May have to look for an apartment, which is cool. Zizi says, I really want to relocate. Absolutely. Absolutely. We will get you the information in time that you need. Jose says, hey, Jessica, if you don't mind me asking, when you do change to a remote job, do you know already what that job will be? And if you do you mind sharing that information? We want to do the same. So just while we're waiting for her to answer, by all means, Jessica, answer. And I must have missed something. When did she mention? Oh. Jessica says, jump lift. Yes, wait. I missed a few things. On a recent episode, you mentioned in the newspapers. Yes. I missed Jiffa 6 and Undoxed and Poppin' Free. I live in Corinto and I travel to El Salvador to visit family. Once I get to the Honduran border, I take a 3-hour bus ride for $7 and another 40-minute bus ride for $1 and end up in San Miguel. That's awesome. Jumplo says, Scott's channel is so informative regarding Nicaragua, but filled with so much wisdom beyond. Literally the only channel I watch so much. Well, thank you. That's awesome. Jessica says, Jumplift, yes. We have a house there and trying to sort out the whole making money situation prior to making it permanent. Oh my gosh, dogs, stop. I can't let them out because of the cats. Trying to sort out the whole making money situation prior to making the permanent move. Currently still working, not remote yet. All right, there we go. ZZ says, I'm ready. In Digital says, one country will replace their currency. One country where? All right, I'm trying to figure out why I can't turn off this bad audio. Sources, properties, find audio output mode. Properties. There's no audio output mode. That's not a thing. I can see the dog blowing out the audio with every bark. Hold on, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. We're working on the bad audio, guys. 46 people still watching. This is an incredible number of people. So I'm really thankful for you guys tonight. Was not expecting so many people on. Just very cool. Yen, ruble, dollar. Okay. You're the most informative person on YouTube, and you're not trying to sell coffee. I'm not trying to sell coffee. It's true. I should sell coffee, though. That would be handy. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Jumplift says, Jessica says, I'm still trying to figure that out. Currently, I'm an ER nurse, but I can't practice nursing outside the U.S. in most cases, hoping to find a job where I can, but if not, I'm open to new. The thing you might be able to do is actually do online nursing, which obviously won't pay as well, won't be as flexible, will be a struggle to find things, blah, blah, blah. But it's not like there is no call for nursing online. It does happen. And remember, if you're living here full time, suddenly you're tax free and cost of living goes way down. So you may have a much higher quality of living, even if you're earning a third as much, right? And that's a real number. Dropping 2/3 of your income, you may still be able to buy just as much stuff, live in a bigger house, and so forth. So things worth considering. Generally, the field that you're in is just going to do better than other fields for you in most cases, right? So if you think about it, what possible field, especially available online, is ever going to compete with the field that you're trained and experienced in? There's exceptions. There's times it could happen. But this is why there's no information generically. This is why we can't tell people, how do I find a job online? Because it's entirely unique to the individual. How do you find a job any other way? By knowing your expertise, knowing what careers and jobs and employers and fields use your expertise, and so forth, right? It's something that is different for absolutely everybody. Like, you would never guess the stuff that I do, even based on my background. It's just not reasonable. And so you have to look at it that way, unfortunately. ZZ says it's full moon. I think that was technically yesterday, but pretty close. Jessica says, I can find something legit I'd be glad to share. Anyone else has leads, please share. Healthier Life says, Nicaraguan coffee is a premium coffee around the world. That is definitely true. McDonald's makes a big deal that that's what they sell. We lost a lot of people. What's going on? We didn't do anything wrong. ZZ says, yeah, for once I remembered, and if I can remember, 45 other people can too. Brand3134 just finalized our offer on a farm in Masatepe. Excited to start our adventure early next year. Awesome. Congratulations from all of us. Jose says, what about international traveling nurse? So generally, I'm going to speak for her, you can't travel as a nurse, right? Every jurisdiction is different. You have to have a work permit for every place that you are. And that would be extremely expensive and difficult and limiting. In some places like Nicaragua, you'd never be able to get one. So that's a visa for that. So that's what makes that hard. ZZ says, currently I'm retired. No problem with jobs. Indigenous says, I'm trying to test the multilingual button. Not good. ZZ says, I love the couple with the coffee farm, Elton, but nobody can drink that much coffee. True. ZZ says, congratulations on the farm. That's really wonderful. I'm really happy for you. I skipped. No 89 Land 3 says, Scott, did you ever get told bad things about Nicaragua while visiting Costa Rica? I don't talk to expats in Costa Rica, so no. Costa Ricans don't say bad things about Nicaragua generally. They kind of have their attitude about it, maybe, but... I'm confused. Okay, are you gonna relax? Okay. Oh. Is this any better? I don't know what it's doing. Okay. Aha, we have an idea. All right, does that sound any better? We're going to test something. Can you hear anything? Oh, that did nothing. What the? Still the same. Yeah. What? We turned the gain all the way down on that mic. It's still coming through. It's like OBS has lost its mind. There's a reason why we turned it off on the camera, because nothing on the computer or on OBS will allow us to control the audio mix, and I can't figure out why it's like this. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, they're doing a wonderful things for their community up north. That's Elton and his wife. Immense Coffee, the younger couple that have the new build in northern Nicaragua. Yes. Healthier Life. How do you feel? How do you like Tonya beer, and is there a comparison to any American beers? I like Tonya. It's very much like, Modelo or whatever. It's kind of a modern beer with. I just noticed that we also have audio. Wait, hold on. Does this help? Did that do anything? Is that okay? I have to keep testing things. Did that stop the audio? Nope. Nothing will turn off this audio, and nothing will allow me to adjust it. I am so flabbergasted at how problematic this is. I'm trying every tool I can find. Nothing correctly alters it. There's got to be some setting that's been selected and I don't realize it. Is that any better? Testing, no, still the same. Nothing ever changes it. Okay, I have a question. If you had a 7-year-old, not now, what would you have him learn on the computer? What game would you introduce to him? Okay, we're gonna come back to that as soon as I'm gonna shut down every single thing with video coming through. Or audio coming through. No matter what I do, it turns it back on. Oh, there we go. Save. No. This is driving me nuts. I'm gonna walk over there and just adjust the audio on there in a second. Sorry for the typos. Okay, guys, we're gonna. Oh, my dog is right there, but that's so dangerous, little dog. Holy cow! All right, guys, 2 seconds. I'm going to the camera to get this solved. No dogs. All right, we're going to see if that did anything. Testing. It should look different. Testing. Oh my gosh, it's still doing it. I should not be able to turn off the microphone and... Is this crazy? There's no way to shut off the audio. Oh, there we go. Hold on. Sorry, guys. This is driving me bonkers. This is just, what the heck? Testing. Nothing will turn it off. The computer has decided that it has control of that audio, and it is now, and completely, oh my gosh. That's why I need someone in here operating some stuff. Trying to do everything when you can't see it all at once and can't hear it to monitor. All right, let's get back to everybody. Jessica says, they're fun to watch. I wish there was more meetups near Granada area when I'm there. Indigenous says, Las Piñatas, loved it. ZZ says, a couple of people in November told me that some of the homeless people were Nicaraguan. That was about the only negative thing I heard, that some of the homeless people were Nicaraguan. I mean, if you're not Nicaraguan and you're homeless here, that's definitely a problem. Brent says, I'm actually getting used to, against all odds, the Nicaraguan coffee habit of one and done. Yeah, what is that about? My dad is here. Good evening. Hey, Dad. And Digital says, the rainy season, yikes. Jose says, hey, Sam, Scott Al Miller, have you bumped into Elton at all? Of course, we've done videos together. Yep, we know each other. We talk. No 89 Land 3 says, I hear no noise. All right, we're going to leave it there then. And Digital says, are we ignoring the international news? I don't know what international news you're talking about. We've covered the fake story from Reuters. I don't know any other international anything. Jumplift says, okay, I have a question. If you had a 7-year-old, not now, what would you have him learn on a computer? What game would you introduce him? Stop it! Stop! The barking is too much. Lay down. Can you lay down? Lay down. Lay down. 7-year-olds, the thing is you really need to use computers generally, right? So video games, yeah, they're great, but for the most part, they're good at teaching hand-eye coordination. They're good at teaching strategy. They're good at getting people engaged. They're good at storytelling. They are literature. Right, they're modern literature. So all of those things, video games are fantastic. For getting someone interested in computing, I think they're horrible. They teach, it's kind of like if you wanted to get interested in electronics, do you show someone a television? Well, maybe a television, but not television shows, right? Baby, come here. Stop barking at the dogs. He wants the other dogs to play with him is what's going on. And they want to sleep, and he's angry. And so watching TV is not the same as learning electronics. Playing video games isn't like learning computers. And it's dangerous because a lot of people get really into it. I mean, you definitely want people playing video games. You do not want kids not playing video games today because it's the strongest form of literary experience. So you get a lot of really great stuff from that. But to get them into computers, 7 is very young, first of all, for that. I fell in love with computers when I was 3, but it was the concept of computers, not like actually using them. And it was at 9 that my dad, who's here, introduced me to programming and taught me how to do basic programming. Basic being beginner's all-purpose symbolic instruction code. And that's what caused my love of really working with computers, is that I started doing real things on a computer and producing real things, really simple things, but real things. And that's where you're going to get that computer education from, not from video games, right? Video games, like Hollywood movies, fun, but actually teach you media, not the things that they show. So if you were to watch someone read email on a Hollywood movie, very quickly you go, these people have never even seen a computer. This is not how it works at all. Same thing with most video games, right? It might be closer, but same problem. CZ says, that's the thing about production, anything that can go wrong. Oh my gosh, I know. And I do the live for the lotto too, and just so many things go wrong. Lives are so difficult. What noise are they hearing? We hear you clear. They at least before, people were saying they could hear the fan noise, and I know what it is because I've heard it in other videos. The fan noise from the studio lights, because it's very close to the camera, which has a microphone that's not supposed to be being recorded, but seems to be. But it's not showing up anywhere on my stuff, so I can't figure out where it's coming from. But if I shut off the microphone, which I know is working because if I do this, it shows up. This microphone is showing feed from that microphone. It's really a problem. Hold on, I'm going to ask my kids if it's safe to leave the dogs out because this is untenable. No problem with audio. Audio seems fine to me. Do you have an audio channel open that is just static now? Apparently. All right, it must be good. I can't hear any of it. So ZZ says, the video just jumped back 15 minutes. I don't know why. That's weird. Jessica says, there's something weird about HIPAA not allowing work from unsecured locations. That is not a HIPAA requirement. Someone lied to you. Some will allow for Costa Rica, but not Nicaragua. Completely false. So the thing about HIPAA exists for one purpose, to excuse doctors from standard industry technology requirements, security requirements. That is its only purpose, is to allow insecure communications. And let me tell you, as someone who has consulted on HIPAA since the day it started, the person who invented cloud computing for human medical, there is no such requirement in HIPAA whatsoever, not even close. So then it's about virtual VPN, but don't want to get into trouble. Yep. You're just dealing with criminals. Those are flat out people lying about HIPAA, probably because they're creating HIPAA violations and they're using fake stuff to try to hide it. That's the only reason. Or people who are literally using U.S. government policy to try to use it for their personal political beliefs, also generally illegal in the U.S. Indigenal says, no elections, but there are elections, or the manipulation of those statements will not go away. Just factor it into your decisions. The future is unknown and unpredictable everywhere. Yep, Beverly says, my dog did the same thing all evening. I finally fed them and took a walk. Seemed to help for the moment. Yeah, these have plenty of food. The thing is, all the other dogs want to sleep, and this one wants to run around and do things and not be in here. But because the cats are outside, they forced him to be in here, and so he's not happy. ZZ says, I think the suspension of those elections were to guarantee that the United States didn't interfere with them. Exactly, and they didn't actually suspend any elections. They just said they wouldn't allow interference. So it's mainstream media is a joke. Ignore. Exactly. Jose says, do you live in Nicaragua? She does not, but she's going to be here very soon, just a few days. All right. We have a really good duration of views as well. He's doing really well. To be clear, I didn't see any homeless in Costa Rica, but I stayed out of San Jose. We have a few homeless here, but very few. I've been in San Jose, and the place, you can't move without the homeless being a problem, at least in the past. Not that Costa Rica has a big homeless problem. That's misleading. But it is I've seen more homeless in one view in Costa Rica than I have seen in 11 years in Nicaragua cumulative. So the difference is huge. We're carrying signs now. Hey, hey. ZZ says, to be clear, I didn't see any... Oh, no, we already said that. Alan Winston, yeah, I don't hear any audio problems. Okay, awesome. I'll just ignore it then. The only audio weird sound is when you start typing, we just hear the keyboard on the desk, the microphone speaking the desk sounds. Okay, that's perfect. I mean, the keyboard is right here, right next to the keyboard. There's a reason why that pops up as the audio. And sorry that I have to type while I'm doing the show. Just how life is. Tried to type a little bit less, but realistically it won't be much less. Trump wants to end elections too, just saying. Exactly, right? Like, tons of Americans voted to end elections, and now the U.S. is like, Nicaragua wants free elections? Arrgh! Like, wow. Like... that's fantastic. It's amazing how no one ever looks at their own country and says, oh, wait, that was us. Yeah. Let's get this. And remember to give a thumbs up on the show, please, 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 please. What time is it? It is 8:30 here. Everybody got big plans for the weekend? Anybody doing anything? Suddenly we got quiet. Did I miss anybody? Did anybody post anything that I didn't put? I didn't respond to? Back in the day, it would be called crosstalk. Well, it's kind of. It's not really crosstalk because it's just an extra microphone we can't shut off. But it's a full microphone feeding through the HDMI channel. It's just... Ramon is going on one of his trips to old war places with his old war buddies. Cool, of things that people are doing this weekend. I hope I have a lot of classes. I hope I have a quiet weekend and I'm able to just hang. Relax at home. It could be as simple as a defective plug. It can't be. It's that a microphone can't be turned off. No plug could do that. It has to be the computer. It's two things. I can't get the camera to shut off the microphone, which shouldn't be possible, and the computer won't stop mixing it in. So those are discrete problems. It cannot be a plug, it cannot be a cable, it can't be crosstalk, because that there's a source being mixed is a problem, period. No 89s. I saw a Facebook post today about a ferry that was supposed to move goods between El Salvador and Costa Rica to bypass Nicaragua. Apparently it got shut down because of low demand and high cost. Well, that would be a really dumb idea. I can't believe it even existed. I bet it got shut down before they started it, because what possible value is there to that? Like the physical distance. So first of all, El Salvador and Costa Rica don't move much. Second, I mean, I get it. There's also a crossing of Honduras in there, but you can ship the ferry to bypass Honduras really easily. But the sheer distance that ferry would have to go is ridiculous. And the port of El Salvador and the port of Costa Rica are nowhere close to each other. And not that many goods move between them at all. Like, nothing about that makes super logical sense. I'm not saying that it's absolutely crazy. I'm not saying that no one should think about these things and try out cool ideas and stuff like that. But if you think about the region and the goods that move between places, like, how could a ferry of that nature possibly be valuable? It would take so long. and yeah, have so much cost, and who benefits, right? Who's winning in that scenario? I don't know. No one, obviously. No 89 says it was hilarious. Yeah, seems like it would be. That's just weird. Just weird. You guys are too quiet now. I'm stuck going through my messages. I know I can talk to you politically, help take care of those people down there. I know I can't talk to you politically? I mean, everyone always says that, but it's rare that there's something you can't say, unless you're like promoting something, but people really never are. ZZ says, does that only happen with that camera and mic in your studio there, or is it something that's inherent everywhere? Could it be your power bar? Sometimes those things give off there's no hum. No. It's a microphone that can't be shut off. It's physically a mixer is grabbing a source and will not allow me to mix it. It's being mixed in. That is the issue. I can take a screenshot. It is a microphone that will not turn off. And it's digital, right? This is not a hum. It is a registered source coming through a mixer that is being turned on, has a channel, and the channel is unstoppable. If I was in Leon, I'd be happy to help you with your production. That's in my resume, along with being a chef television production. That'd be super cool. Chef and video production. That's cool stuff. I knew you were a chef. I don't think I knew you did television production. We should make it kitchen TV show here, cooking TV show. I know how to use words. We're carrying signs. I did find 400 plus manzanas down closer to San Juan del Sur for $30K, which surprised me but made me laugh. Wait, 400 manzanas for $30K? That's a good deal. That's like $100 a manzana? Hold on. I'm going to math here for a second. So 400, and we're going to do it by acre, times 1.7. So that is 680 acres at $30,000. Wait, I did that wrong. As I often do. That is $44 an acre. Even in Nicaragua, $44 an acre is really cheap. Jose says, hey Scott, have you heard of El Nica Gringo? Very nice young man and proud of being Nicaraguan. I don't think I know that name. Wesley says, somebody mentioned earlier if the Costa Rican badmouth Nicaraguans. I had mentioned the Nicaraguans are considered cheap labor for the Costa Ricans. Well, that's true, but that's not badmouthing Nicaragua. Angel says, I would love a Nica food show. That'd be really cool, with a kitchen and everything. We actually have talked about doing that. Not like just a food show, like a morning show. Similar to the Mexicans in the U.S. Do we morning shows? Oh, badmouth, cheap labor. CZ says, are there any good reggae bands playing in Leon? Zero. Never heard of a reggae band here. Reggae bands exist in the country, but I've never seen one here. House bands, tons. Touring, check out. This is where you find who's playing, nicarumba.com. Make it a link so it's a little bit clearer. There you go. Probably going to go see Rockman Bronza tomorrow. Always somebody playing. We're carrying signs now and a few 100 meters of oceanfront. Hundreds of meters of oceanfront for 44. I mean, at some point, I'll pay $30,000 for any spot of 680 acres. I mean, that's just freaking cool. I don't care how bad of a spot it is. That just feels impossible. I mean, I found a whole bunch of places that were really nice for 300 an acre. Actually, I think that was 300 a manzana, so like 200 an acre, 220, whatever that math is. So, you know, it's not actually wildly wrong, but wow. What is a food shoe? What is a food show is what he meant. Food show. A cooking show. $300 US, yeah. I mean, 300 an acre, right? That sounds like a reasonable number, right? That's not a, ooh, that feels way too expensive for that place, or how could anyone sell something for so cheap? 300 feels like a very useful number. 44 seems really low, but maybe. Channel 2 News has a lot of good cooking shows on it, though that's cool. At least the concert at El Padrino's was super. Yes, it was. And same group at Via Via tomorrow. And I ran into Monty at lunch today, and he's like, are you going to the show tomorrow? And I'm like, see. We'll see. Check something real quick while we're on here. Keep talking. I'm going to try my best to pay attention. Maybe Ramon can show up there and say hi, but I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm going. I want to go because I saw everybody, and I like going. Like, it would be cool. I'm trying to find something on Pedito's Jaw. I worry that everything is closed. Janet, do you know anyone who has cakes that could be ordered for delivery right now? No, everything's closed for today already, I think. Can I post a link? It's on Enquan. No, you can't post any links. They won't let you. It's just a YouTube limitation. Do you want me to go buy something at La Colonia fast? That's very tempting. Jen says really fast. The only thing is, if I send you there and grab a cake, how do I get to you to get it to them? It's not very far, but... Nika has reggaeton music originated in Panama and Puerto Rico, fusion of hip-hop, dancehall, and Spanish. Where is it going? It's going really close, just, how do you describe it? Southeast of the cathedral, a couple blocks. Jose says, who is Janet, Scott? Janet, that's posting about the cake. Janet Sweeney, 1754. She's my neighbor. That sounds fast, lol. CZ says, in Eugene, Oregon, we have a constant population of about 1,700. They are spread out. I'm asking Paul if he can run over there. It's a really long drive to get a cake, but it's someone's birthday. Well, you know who it is. It's someone's birthday, and their plans got canceled. The people who were taking them out canceled. Or I guess... Oh, wait. Hold on, Janet. I'm finding out. Billy says reggaeton is degenerate. Okay, it's just a type of music. It's like rock music in the 1970s. Oh no. My dad says good night. Night, Dad. Love you. I'm finding out if I can get the car, Janet. If I can borrow the car, then I can run out and pick up the cake from you and take it over when the show is done. I'm not getting an answer. ZZ says, I was meaning like roots reggae old school. Yeah, it exists. Caracalito on the Beach does a little bit, but there's not like bands. There must be, because the East Coast reggae is native, but you get very, very little of it out here. Working Signs Now says, ZZ, how long has it been since you were in Eugene? Moved away from there 17 years ago, and it just keeps growing. Wesley says, Scott, 1574. You said 1574 for Janet Sweeney. Yes, Janet Sweeney, 1574. Good night, Mr. Miller. Be well. James is here. Is an Egg McMuffin available in Nicaragua? Yes, it is. How McDonald's coffee compared to North American? As far as I know, it's the same. McDonald's is very good about... Janet, if you can grab the cake, just go grab it. I will figure it out. Even if I don't get him to him until tomorrow. But I know there's only 16 minutes and I'm not getting an answer, and I've got time to figure it out otherwise. So... I'm going to try to get over there, but I want to have a cake for it if you can make it. Don't worry if you can't. Like, that's crazy, but it would be nice if they got a cake for today. I'm not sure that she's ever had one. We did take her to lunch today. It's not like she's had nothing. But I hate that her entire evening of plans got canceled, like for her birthday. Like, that's crap. So Zizi, I've been living in Eugene for the past 16 years, and I'll be leaving at the end of the year heading for Nicaragua. I guess we have a population of about 170,000 now. And Digital says Marcella. No, Marcella, it's not her birthday. And it says, yeah, I'm changing, but the phone wouldn't work. Changing? McDonald's is poison. I'll find what I can. Thank you, Janet. The closest thing you can find to a birthday cake. If it says birthday, all the better. All right. Still a lot of people on. This is awesome. We've only been on for just coming up on 2 hours, and we have 274 views with a really good average time. So this is really fantastic. If we do manage to get that cake, I will be leaving on the early side. But they were planning on going out at 9, so they're not even up to when they were going out yet. So that part is fine. Oh, hold on. I'll find what I can. Thanks, Janet. Lenny says, are there animal rights laws protecting pets and farm animals? Not really. This region is starting to get that stuff, but it hasn't made it here, which is very sad. What is the human-animal culture vibe? Unfortunately, things are very tough here for animals. It's one of the reasons that having expats here is very important to help make a difference on that, push improved culture, a lot of things, right? We really want to see a lot of good influence around that, and there is positive movement, but it's very difficult and can be very depressing. You have tons and tons and tons of animals out on the street all the time. It's very rough. Wesley says, who was the young woman with you? And I think it was 4 years ago. I haven't seen her lately. What happened to her? She was showing houses with you. If she was showing houses, that's almost certainly Marcella. And she was here. She's probably watching the show. She's on a regular basis. She's done a lot of episodes, but she had cancer a couple of years ago. She is over it, doing very well, still sees the doctor all the time, but she successfully she manages our hotels. So she's here. I see her every day. Saw her today, twice probably. Jessica says, for that 400, she's also the one that runs Nicaragua.com. For that 400 manzanas, I'll put 10,000 in, 2 others in, and it's sold. Oh, right. Yeah, let's all go in on it and just get this together. Like, we could build an entire community for all the expats moving down for $30,000. I mean, 680 acres. You can build a lot. I mean, sometimes down here you get a bunch of acreage and you find out it's on the side of a volcano and you can't actually use it, but Former future expats, let's things shake out. It is a paradise. For that 400 months on us. Oh, no, we already said that. If I really have to, I could walk all the way out there and walk a cake down there. That would take a few hours. That'd be a really long time. Oh, no, it was not Marcella. She spoke English, very good looking. Can you tell me anything about her? Oh. It was very likely Martina. Very likely Martina. I have seen her around town, but not... I actually haven't seen her around in the last, 9 months. I'm not sure where she is. A lot of people come and go and move internationally around this area. That must be who it was, especially 4 years ago. McDonald's is much better here than in the USA. I can't stand in the US, but my son loves beef. Doesn't taste real in the US. Here it actually tastes like real beef. Wesley says this woman was Nicaraguan. She was slender. Yeah, Marcella's Nicaraguan as well, but curvy. Martina is very slender. That's very likely. Wesley says, I guess I'll have to find a show and bring her name up to you. Yeah, if you can, but I bet that's who it is. It's pink slime in the USA. It's Soylent Green. The problem is all the girls on my show here are very attractive, so it doesn't narrow anything down. All the men are also very attractive on the show, if I do say so myself. It's just a very attractive show in general. That's what we shoot for. Still got 38 people on. This is fantastic. Remember to give us a thumbs up. I don't know if people are switching in and out or if it's the same group. We got a pretty good core group here talking. So Camille was up north. That is correct. And definitely not Nicaraguan. She is Quebecois. I have talked to her in the last 8 hours. So she's doing all right. She's currently living in Australia, doing some seeing the world. She's been in Australia for quite some time. I don't know what drove her to go down there, and she's had a lot of disasters. I think she's actually trapped there is part of the problem. All right, quiet people. Oh, more people on. Okay, Scott, time Beverly says, time to tomorrow is my last day in the university, and Saturday is day 1 of retirement. Oh my gosh, preemptive congratulations. That's amazing. Maybe I will see you next week. Good night. Have a good night. Yeah, hopefully we see you next week. Zizi says, yeah, I've watched a bunch of your videos. If anyone's seen my Corinto video from a super long time ago, or I guess that was an odd one to jump to. It's the one that always pops into my mind. Last year, I did a video at Laguna de Apoyo with the girls who were out kayaking and doing stuff on the lake. The young girl from that video, she's a doctor, is whose birthday it is, and we're trying to get her a birthday cake because her plans for the evening were canceled. I did take her to lunch, so she did get a very nice lunch with dessert, but they did not have birthday cake or anything like that. So we're trying to get her a birthday cake. Scott, I've watched. Somebody's shows. You probably owe me money. Did others find that huge lot? I don't know. Is there any chance of me getting one of the kitchens in your closed restaurants running for some special meals for your family? Maybe. So the one restaurant is gone. Like, we gutted it. It is now a hotel room and a swimming pool. So that one's probably out. The other one exists, but it is 2 feet deep in sand because of the storm. Maybe that one? Maybe. That would be awesome. I would love to do that. Those kitchens are not exactly close to operational. Things here don't last. Obviously, once you tear them out. But once you shut things down, things deteriorate really quickly in Nicaragua due to the heat and the salt and all that stuff. And so you might find them a little bit less than functional. Less functional than you would hope for at the very least. Wesley says, that should have read so many shows. The talk to text in this format is terrible. Oh, I bet. I watched the one where you're eating jelly beans with the daughters. Oh, that's the oldest one that's publicly available on the channel. I love that video. They are so little in that, and now they're so... I mean, the elder of those two is going to be an adult in just months. That was so much fun, though. I miss them so much at that age. I remember you saying that about the sand. Oh, well, I'm sure we can figure it out. Yeah, it's crazy how much sand came in there. The gross tasting jelly beans, yeah. That's the Birdie Bot's Ever Flavored Beans challenge or whatever, but it's a Harry Potter thing. That was back when we were still that was during the time that we were in Texas waiting to move to Nicaragua, which was a little while. And during that time that we were living in Texas, we read all of the Harry Potter books together and then watched them, the movies. And that was such a great time and such a fun age. And it's so hard that, like, you know, as a parent, it feels like we just read those Harry Potter books. That wasn't that long ago. And when you go back and look at it, you're like, well, hold on. So that would have been probably 2018, possibly 2017 maybe. And you're like, that's 9 years ago. So, especially for my younger daughter, she was 6. And now she's 15. And you're like, ooh, oh, that was a lot of life ago. Oh, it can be very tough. I might be the world's oldest video game player. I'm really into CRPGs. Oh, that's awesome. I like CRPGs. I tend to like Western RPGs more most of the time, but I really like a lot of CRPGs. I grew up with, never was a Zelda fan, but I grew up with, Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy and just tons of that stuff. And I always really enjoyed them. And my kids like them, but not, again, they also like the Western ones more too. So it's, but I love them. So what ones do you play? Octopath Traveler, to completely change the subject, do you know about Terry Pratchett and Discworld? I've not read the books, but yeah, I totally know Terry Pratchett and Discworld, of course. James says, tidbit, Reuters is based out of Canada now. Ooh. In Canada, the government removed legislation of spreading false info. Our media is allowed to spread misinformation now. The U.S., they were always allowed to do that. But Canada opened the gate, I guess, to moving there. Pathfinder Divinity. Oh, nice. I've not played Divinity. I play Pathfinder in person, so I really like Pathfinder. I like the deep rules. I like how well it's done. I have quite a bit of Pathfinder stuff. We tend to play a lot of in-person TTRPGs, D&D 5.5, Nimble. We waiting for it to arrive. Legends of the Mist. Super excited about that. Daggerheart, we haven't played it yet. I need to sit down and spend time with it. Baldur's Gate, very cool stuff. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff we play. We play Baldur's Gate 3. My kids do. Really like Dragon Age. Really like Dragon Age. That's my wife's favorite. One of my favorites. Mass Effect, absolutely fantastic. That's what I tend to play more than the CRPGs, the JRPGs. Full RPGs are my bread and butter. That's the stuff I really like. And I've always played. My first Curse of the Azure Bonds, 1988. I played Fairy Tale Adventure. I feel like that's 1987. 1985, the Bard's Tale original. I was playing Muds in 1994. James says, Reuters is part of Woodbridge Holdings, Thomson Publications majority holders of Bell BCE. CC's good to find more adult gamer. Can we play the same games? I think we'll have a lot in common. I can't wait to meet you in person. Well, thank you. I do. I love those games. I love games that tell stories, especially ones that you get into and you're part of the story. This is where Jumplift, I think, was asking questions about what are games are good for it. Now, it's for a 7-year-old. These get pretty deep, so it's not appropriate. But as they get older, this stuff is really good. I really like Skyrim. I really like Oblivion. And one of the things that I like about those games is, now those are open world and they're not as deep as, say, some of these that he's mentioning, and especially not as deep as, say, Dragon Age, which is crazy good. But I like Skyrim and Oblivion, the Elder Scrolls series, because they really give you an opportunity to tell your own story within the framework of the game. I think pretty well, and they're huge, so you spend a lot of time just kind of exploring things. Now, I don't like that you tend to do this completionist thing, which actually takes some of the RPG out of it. Like, play it again if that's what you're going to do, rather than being able to do every single quest all the time. I much prefer we have to make choices, and those choices are more impactful. But my favorite example is I was playing Oblivion long ago, and Fable, by the way, the Fable series, just amazing. In Oblivion, there's a spot where a cult has taken a friend of yours, and I don't know what you have to do to have this come up in the game. It's like you have to know the right character, talk to this other character. Like, there's a bunch of things. And I'm like, how many people have had this come up? And this friend of your character gets taken hostage and is being sacrificed by a cult, and it turns out there's other people. Oh, no, we lost the camera. Hold on. I knew that I got dogs here. I knew that the battery was low, and I didn't really plan well for it. I'm working on it now. I'm going as fast as I can. I didn't have a good warning system because I'm not looking at the screen. Oops. Well, that's a second dead battery. Hold on. There we go, much better. Much, much better. Okay, so your friend gets taken by this cult, and they're going to sacrifice her. And then you find all these other people, and you find out that there's this whole town. The camera will not focus. Oh, not my camera. Okay, the little dog wants out. All right, letting dogs out. You guys better be good. You better be good, Anthem. Okay. I'm not going after any cats. It seems okay. Janet managed to get a cake. It was $371.50. 50? They put a 50? Cords, there was some twice as much, but not as pretty. Oh, well, perfect. Saving money and prettier. I like it. How is Cat Hotel working out? They're doing pretty well. They are everywhere. There's so many cats. A little bit nerve-wracking having so many cats. But the cats that are with my daughters are so happy. And my daughter's just, especially my elder, Liesel, she lays in there and she's just in a sea of cats at all times. They're just crawling all over the place. It's so adorable. Janet's like, sorry, put it in the wrong place. She was not meaning to put the amount of money that I owed her over there. Hold on just a second. I have to go talk to Paul. I will be right back. Don't leave, guys. We're still talking about stuff. Mia, why are you behind the door? Hello. I have keys, so I will be taking a cake soon. Sorry that I disappeared, everyone. How much water do you put in one drink? You're still nursing that one drink. Yeah, I really don't drink much on the show. I do drink it very slowly. Have I ever played RuneScape? I've not actually played RuneScape. I am familiar, but I've never played it. ZZ says that's awesome. I will definitely pack my PS5. Sweet. Yes, and with all the mods. The new Fable's coming out soon, which I'm very excited about. The only law is Murphy's Law. There's the cake amount. How's the cat hotel? I got to the store in 2 minutes of fast walking. Indigenal says, with your game experience and playing with your family, I'm sure long-term friends is worth billions in the market. Timely, globally vital advisor, hardware, software, internet, global gamers. Janet says, it's a pretty good price. Most Nicaraguans just get those ring cakes, but this one is also dulce de leche, a favorite here. Nice. We're carrying signs now. It says, dang it, Scott, your Latin American living email bounced back. Really? Sent you a link and a couple of other questions. When is it good to resend? It bounced back? Hold on. You didn't send from something like Hotmail, did you? Why would it bounce back? How long ago did you send it? 9:15. Just now, email from an invalid source came in. Whatever email you're using, they're not functional. It's TLS failed. So that should mean that it's not coming from a fully set up email carrier. Because it fails at that stage, it doesn't even show who it came from or where it was going. The system won't talk to it without TLS. Definitely, let me know who your carrier is, but definitely move off of that email carrier. Dang it, Scott. ZZ says, that sounds pretty good. Hello from Wisconsin. Well, hello, Driftless Bliss. We have so many people still on. I cannot believe it. Ever since Microsoft bought Hotmail, it has gotten worse, but my other address is also Hotmail. Ooh, it sounds like they're shutting down Hotmail. I mean, if it doesn't do TLS, it means it's not valid email anymore. No legitimate email service will accept a non-TLS because it means that the information is clear text, which nothing should allow for 20 years now. I realize some places still do, which is terrible. That's why email gets a bad rap. I would recommend you go get a Gmail address. They're free. Yahoo is fine. They're free. There's a lot of free carriers out there, but there's no way we can. If Hotmail is that bad, I can't believe Hotmail doesn't have TLS though. That seems crazy, but. It's weird. I don't see other people reporting that about Hotmail. Very strange. But I haven't seen Hotmail used in quite some time, so. Didn't Microsoft buy Hotmail a really long time ago? Hotmail and Yahoo Mail were the first of the real email offerings. That's crazy. 1996. Which is weird because Hotmail is part of Outlook.com, so it should definitely at least function, right? Like, you guys are quiet again. Now there's a 0 chat rate. And the dog's barking again. Oh my gosh. The dog is so much. This just never ends. He barks anytime someone comes and goes. And the traffic here never ends. Someone is always coming to or leaving the house. Always, always, always. Driftlet says, howling at the moon. He's not. He's howling at the neighbors. He's actually barking at somebody. Just... oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. Oh, good. James says, I still have Hotmail for over 30 years. Change is bad. The problem is Hotmail changed from viable apparently to non-viable. That's a bad change. James, you have my email. Are you able to email me? Scott@LatinAmericanLiving.com. It feels really weird. It doesn't seem plausible that... oh, ZZ's back, just made a sandwich. Oh, that sounds good. I want a sandwich. I haven't eaten since lunch, so... what was I checking? Oh, I was just trying to figure out why Hotmail would have no... yeah, Hotmail instantaneously got bad and just gets worse since Microsoft... but Microsoft acquired it, like, so long ago. Yeah, 1997. Hotmail only existed for 1 year in the mid-90s before Microsoft. It was only kind of a theory prior to the Microsoft purchase. Okay, now I just got a Hotmail just now. Driftless Bliss, I'm watching the moon over a cornfield and listening to a lot of crickets. It is going to rain here after weeks of no rain. Sadly, you're not here. We would like it if it rained here after weeks of no rain. We really need the rainy season to come. All right. Yeah, 2 Hotmails just came in. So I don't know what caused the problem before. Just sent it for a 4th time. Oh. Huh. I wonder if Hotmail has some of their servers are broken. That could be because I got it twice. And I've gotten your emails before. But the error that happened at 9:14, because the one that worked was 9:18. At 9:14, we got the error, and the error was connection read and then handshake. Are those... I see the same... No, I don't. 194.88. 194... No, it's just one. It looks like Hotmail may have some failed server, maybe, and that's what's causing the issue. ZZ says, I still have a Yahoo Mail, which I do too, actually, but I don't use it. I think it's got like 9,000 unread messages. Mine's like that too. Yep, I don't read anything on it, but I do occasionally send things. Or use it for like some weird spam thing or sign into something with it. I can't believe how many people we still have on. James says, Christ, I remember when wifey came home and took my flip phone away and gave me a BlackBerry. I remember when I gave up my giant thing like this for a flip phone. And then those candy bar things, that was a fun era. I need more chatter, guys. It's tough to keep rolling when it's mostly just me. We're only at 2.5 hours in. Our 327 views. It's really good. I wish we had gotten started earlier. I just couldn't today. And we can't go late because I got to do this cake thing. He says, I thought MSN was the same as Hotmail. I guess I have an Outlook account. MSN... I have no idea. Oh, MSN also got rolled into Outlook, I believe. Microsoft's been around for so long. They've made so many weird brand choices. Or not maybe weird, but a few brand choices over the years. Nothing's worse than Disney and their Go.com. My gosh. It's been decades and still no one knows how to figure out where Disney is. Disney managed to make themselves the world's least technologically capable company. Like... So weird. They decided that Disney.com didn't make sense for them. And I just found that a movie is available that we wanted to go see. I gotta find someone about a movie. Have you seen the link yet? Sounds too good. Lol, I'd team up if we can get on the same page. Just saying. Have you seen the link? Oh. I see what you're saying. No, I missed the link. I was not paying attention. Okay. Exclusive. So I guarantee, like everything else, it's just a lie. I'm sure. Yeah, this is a fake placeholder, I think. That is a really good spot. I mean, a really adequate spot for sure. Almost all listings in Nicaragua are fake, and so I'm pretty sure that this is fake. 800 meters in front of the beach. It's 417 manzanas. In Tola. Yes, okay, it is completely fake. This is a scam. So this is where these are all scams, right? There's no reason to look at real estate ads. This one lists that it's a scam inside. They list 417 manzanas at $30,000 and carefully put $0.01, so 1 penny, per square meter. If you scroll through the listing, 30,000 per manzana is hidden in the listing. So in this case, they knew they were lying to trick people to get them to look at it, and then they hit them with a really high price that makes no sense whatsoever. If you're on Encuentra, if you're on anything like this, 100% scams. I have never seen a legitimate listing, ever. Because legitimate people don't use those services, right? It's just not something they'll go. Janet says, I had to go back to the kitchen for a while, so I couldn't talk. Have a good evening, everyone. I'll stop in another time. Have a good night, Driftless. Be well. Thank you. I can resend. Oh, no, I've got it. James says, have you had any input to this new AI from a company that does Claude? Greek name. It's scary. 60 companies. Supposedly it can digitally rob a bank. It's a new AI from company that... Oh, from Anthropic? I mean, anything can digitally rob a bank if the bank's bad at security. Are you talking about Fable 5? I've done a lot of work with Fable 5. I have access to it. I can use it right now. I have an ingrown hair on my neck that's bothering me. Sorry. It's been all day. It's been bothering me. Would love to meet up for a coffee or snack in the Highland Cities when I'm there next week. I'm from Oregon. James says, yes, Anthropic. Yeah, it must be Fable 5. The actual new one from the Fable 5 is actually several ago. It's been superseded in time by Sonnet 5 and Opus 5. I've actually been using those extensively. I stopped using Fable 5 due to its high cost. Its capability is possibly not actually better than Opus 5. Not sure. But Opus 5 on Ultra Code is so impressive. I don't see any news about it robbing a bank, but having worked on Wall Street, the security of banks is incredibly low, and if someone actually wanted to rob them digitally, quite easy to do so. As he says, I would eventually like to drive my Toyota Highlander all-wheel drive 2004 6-cylinder down there. Is it crazy idea? Is insurance really that much? So the thing that's crazy isn't the insurance, although that could hit you. It's the import. It's all the things that come with having to have it. If your only concern is the insurance required to drive it down, probably not that big of a deal. But it's the immediately having to drive it back. is the problem. Like, what are you going to do once you get here? Then you've got a 2004 Toyota Highlander that you can't keep and you can't sell, and that you are legally required to deal with in 30 days. And yeah, people will do an extension at 30 days. That's not too bad. But once you do it once, you realize why you don't want to do it again. And then what do? You got to drive it back. From Texas, we once calculated that as a 56-hour drive, and I was totally willing to do it. But a 56-hour drive that you have to do immediately again is kind of like a 112-hour drive. And that is a bit much. And it's boring going back. And then you got to fly down anyway. So it's, what's the goal? And I wouldn't want to drive an all-wheel drive down all this way, because you're going to be on highways the entire way. So you really want a fuel-efficient car, not a truck, realistically. Is insurance and customs crazy? Insurance isn't... Oh, no, it's a guarantee you're driving it back. No, there's no driving one way. Yeah, no. Not a not a good idea. Those dogs. Yeah, if you could keep it here, that would be great. But you'd have to come up with a way to import it. And even as someone who's allowed to import, we generally assume that the import is 100%. So you're talking about an outrageous amount of money to import it, and you don't get to use it. Jerry did it. I think he spent a year with his car essentially impounded while he did the import. He mostly did the import for fun, just to see like what would happen, and it was a neat experiment, considering his wife is Nicaraguan. He's been here for forever. He has a lot of resources and knows people and everything. So it was pretty easy for him to play around with it and just see what would happen. And that's neat and all, and it was really good information for us. But whoa, are you bringing in a trailer? Brown John, Scott, what are the oldest car models you see in daily use in Nicaragua? In daily use, we get decently old, but not crazy. Probably like 2008, 2010, somewhere around there. Most of the cars are reasonably recent. Once in a while, we do see some surprisingly old things, but not in that like daily driver. Like I know down the street, I never see it move, is an old VW Beetle. There's a couple Datsuns that drive around town. I tried to buy one. The guy wouldn't sell it to me. Beautiful condition old Datsun. I'm like, well, that'd be great. I want that truck. Wouldn't sell it. I like some of the like old Nissans. Hell yeah. I'd be down for that, right? A little bit of it's kind of a beater, kind of a classic. Fits places because it's small, but we really don't see too much old cars here. Partially because they fall apart, can't get parts. They're not worth a lot here, so it becomes people just aren't interested. All right, it's actually getting a little bit late, and I have to go pick up this cake from Janet. Thank you so much, Janet. That's so awesome. And I have to deliver it to friends who didn't get anything for her birthday, so I'm going to go deal with that. It's the same thing with Costa Rica. I guess I'll get some kind of Suzuki thing and a horse. It's going to be the same thing really anywhere. Importing vehicles is not a casual thing, so it's always going to be expensive, difficult. Nowhere wants to see old ones being brought in. Like that entire concept is something everyone wants to avoid for the same underpinning reasons that having old vehicles being imported becomes a potential risk to existing automotive sales and service and all that. And so it's not in the interest of countries to allow that to happen. They worry about places like the U.S. offloading old vehicles to them and similar things. And so you're going to really struggle to find anywhere that lets you do that, pretty much anywhere in the world. There are exceptions. There are some countries that just don't care, but very rare. So the general idea of driving somewhere with a car is not a normal expat relocation kind of vibe. Jen says, hey, everyone's welcome. I live really close to the store. Everyone, you can come along with me and go to Janet's. Janet, I'm going to change real quick and run over there now. Oh my gosh, 18 miles to the gallon. Think about how much that would cost to drive down here. Ramon hates how often I go. James says, great. Good night, Scott. All right, everybody. We are still at 30 people, 342 views. We didn't quite hit 3 hours, but I really appreciate everyone being on. I hope we get this many people next week and we can do it early. That would be amazing. And, boy, I've got so much to do. So, good night, everyone. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up. Buy me a coffee if you like. buymeacoffee.com/Scott Allen Miller. And if you didn't watch the whole show, go watch it again once it's up recorded. And I will see you.